Blink and you might miss it. One catastrophic error. One split-second delay in reaction time. And just like that, the most lethal fangs in the animal kingdom would bring your existence to a screeching halt. Forget about brute strength or massive bulk. This narrative is defined by raw velocity, primal intuition, and that razor-thin margin separating a breathing survivor from a silent corpse. Out here in the unforgiving wilderness, where danger exhales from every dark corner, a pint-sized warrior steps into the light without a shred of fear. The mongoose doesn't need a deafening roar. It doesn't need to bluff with imposing stature. Instead, it wields a weapon far more unsettling to its adversaries. An unshakable arrogance fueled by reflexes that move faster than thought. Face to face with venomous serpents possessing the power to extinguish life in a single bite, this diminutive combatant refuses to give up an inch of ground. Every muscle fiber pulls tight. Gazes lock in a deadly stare. The atmosphere turns oppressive, as if the earth itself has paused to watch the violence unfold. The snake rears up hood, expanded venom ducts, primed to deliver instant death. Most creatures would scramble for safety at this point, but the mongoose does the impossible. It steps right into the danger zone. Now every micro-movement counts. A millisecond separates the living from the dead. The serpent lashes out a strike too quick for the human eye to track. Fangs slash through empty air where a body stood just a moment ago. But the mongoose has vanished, sidestepping, pirouetting, dancing on the knife edge of oblivion. This is not panicked chaos. It is cold, hard mathematics. It is a survival instinct honed to a razor's edge by millions of years of evolutionary warfare. The mongoose understands a fundamental rule the snake cannot rewrite. If the reptile misses once, the advantage flips instantly. The target is the skull. One precise crunch ends the game. But if the mammal falters, the venom takes it all. Pulses race like war drums. Dust clouds erupt under scrambling claws. The snake recoils and strikes again, faster, furious, driven by desperation now. Every lunge burns vital energy. Every miss fuels the mongoose's bravado. This isn't just courage. It is a war waged in the space between heartbeats. And right when the odds seem insurmountable, when the next blow looks destined to connect, the mongoose defies logic. It dives in, a blur of fur and fury. A surgical strike directed at the only vulnerability that truly matters. Mother Nature has no patience for mercy. She only bows to absolute precision. That skirmish was merely the opening act in a saga of conflicts that completely rewrite the rules of engaging an apex predator without fear. Do not go anywhere, because the events following this push the concept of survival to its absolute breaking point. If you crave a front row seat to the most adrenaline-pumping showdowns nature has to offer, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the notification bell. You won't want to sleep on what is coming up next. The mongoose isn't acting on reckless impulse. It is a biological machine engineered specifically for these high-stakes moments. Every sinew, every neuron, every gut reaction serves a singular function: to walk away breathing from clashes that should theoretically be impossible to win. Unlike the average small mammal that relies solely on fleeing, the mongoose analyzes. It studies. It watches. Its eyes lock onto the microscopic shifts in scales, the coiling of muscle, that invisible tension telegraphing a strike before it even launches. When fighting venomous snakes, anticipation is the only thing keeping you alive. The serpent rises higher, weaving back and forth, its glands brimming with a neurotoxic cocktail meant to paralyze systems in minutes. One solid connection spells doom. Yet the mongoose remains cool. It orbits the reptile, forcing it to pivot, sapping its strength with every adjustment. This isn't a sprint. It's a marathon of focus and stamina. Out of nowhere, the strike repeats. Faster, more vicious. The snake commits everything, convinced this is the killing blow. But the blow never lands. The mongoose evades by a hair's breadth, feeling the wind of snapping jaws on its neck. In the same breath, it retaliates, nipping at the skull before fading back into safety. Even if the venom lands, it doesn't guarantee a victory here. The mongoose boasts a genetic superpower, a resistance that dulls the edge of deadly neurotoxins. It isn't total immunity, but it is enough. Enough to shake it off. Enough to stay in the ring. Enough to turn a fatal mistake into a calculated risk. Frustration mounts within the reptile. Every whiffed attack drains its reserves. Every retreat winds the invisible timer, ticking down toward its inevitable defeat. The mongoose closes the gap, now audacious, practically begging for another attempt. This psychological warfare is potent. Predators rely on intimidation. When their target refuses to flinch, doubt begins to rot their confidence. Then the moment arrives. A tiny lapse in defense. a split-second stutter. The mongoose launches like a missile jaws, locking down with the accuracy of a surgeon's scalpel. This is not a messy brawl. This is an execution. A finale dictated by raw instinct devoid of emotion. When the dust finally clears, only one hunter remains upright. The other lies motionless, undone by a solitary error. But the wilderness never grants a permanent vacation. Beyond this victory, greater perils lurk. Heavier hitters, more lethal standoffs, and the mongoose is ready to confront every single one of them. If you are captivated by these real-world battles for survival and the planet's deadliest predators, make sure to subscribe and share this narrative with fellow enthusiasts who live for the raw, unfiltered intensity of the SS. Wild. True power doesn't always announce itself with a roar. Sometimes it surrounds you in silence. Out on the sprawling savanna, a different variety of warfare takes shape. No poison, no hypodermic fangs, just an atmosphere thick with impending violence. A troop of baboons forages nearby, muscular, arrogant, ruling by sheer mass. Then the grass rustles. Small figures materialize. Mongooses. Not a solo act, an army. They march forward without a hint of doubt. Fur puffed out to maximize size. Bellies low to the dirt. Gaze fixed ahead. The baboons pause, baffled by the sheer audacity displaying itself before their eyes. These are not frightened prey animals scrambling for cover. These are warriors looking for a fight. The mongooses fan out instinctively, establishing a tight defensive perimeter. Each member monitors the squad, moving as a single organism. This is teamwork, forged in the fires of evolution. When a baboon rushes in, teeth flashing, the reaction is instantaneous. The clan surges as one, hissing, biting, closing the gap rather than backing down. The primate anticipated terror. What it received was a wall of defiance. Every advance hits a barrier of kinetic energy. The mongooses weave in and out, delivering sharp nips, feinting, never lingering long enough to be caught. Their velocity is amplified by their numbers. Their morale feeds on the group dynamic. The larger beast wavers, doing the math. An infected wound here means weakness tomorrow. And out here, weakness is a death sentence. Another baboon joins the fray. The intensity skyrockets. Dust billows under heavy paws. For a second, it looks like pandemonium will consume them. But the mongooses hold the line. They condense, tightening their ranks, cranking up the pressure. Piercing alarm calls slice the air signals of organized resistance, not panic. The momentum shift is nuanced but absolute. The baboons decelerate, then halt. A step backward becomes two. The aggression evaporates from their posture as rapidly as it appeared. What looked like an easy bullying session has morphed into an unacceptable gamble. And just like that, the hierarchy inverts. The baboons withdraw, ceding the territory, and the triumph to animals a mere fraction of their weight. This illustrates the sheer force of numbers utilized with discipline. It isn't mindless rage, it is controlled rebellion. In the untamed world, unity can transform the smallest scavengers into an immovable object. If scenes like this reshape your understanding of the animal kingdom, go ahead and like this video, drop your thoughts in the comments, and keep that subscription active for the next installment, because the danger is only going to skyrocket from this point on. There is an entity in the bush that demands absolute quiet. When it rears its head, even the most battle-hardened veterans pause. The king Cobra does not hurry. It announces its arrival. The earth seems to shudder as the colossal serpent hoists its body skyward, hood flaring out like a war banner, eyes tracking with icy calculation. This is not a defensive bluff. This is pure dominion. A single injection from these fangs carries enough neurotoxin to collapse a respiratory system before you can even think about running. Very few creatures survive a blunder in this arena. On the far side of the clearing, the mongoose stands solitary. It refuses to charge blindly. It refuses to turn tail. It simply waits. The cobra oscillates, monitoring every twitch, hoarding its energy for one catastrophic lunging attack. The mongoose mirrors the rhythm, orbiting, compelling the snake to rotate continuously. The physical fight has paused. This is now a battle of nerves. A test to see who blinks first. Without warning, the deadly serpent launches a ferocious assault. Its velocity is absolutely nightmarish. A twisting mass of venomous power rushes the mammal with killing desire. Yet the mongoose vanishes, dodging laterally as toxic fangs crash into dirt. Earth flies up. The viper resets immediately, snapping back with even greater fury. Every lethal strike falls just short. Every missed bite drains vital energy. The mammal retaliates with lightning speed, lunging to bite the skull, then retreating instantly. It avoids reckless moves. A single error brings death. This displays calculated mastery, existence distilled down to instinctive reflexes. Time drags on. Both combatants are gasping for air. The serpent's rhythm flags its lunges, lacking their deadly snap. The mammal detects this weakness. The intensity ramps up. The gap narrows significantly. Suddenly, the critical vulnerability reveals itself to the hunter. With one decisive surge, the predator charges in rather than retreating.